Penguin Random House presents India Since Independence, revised and updated by Bipin Chandra, Mridula Mukherjee and Aditya Mukherjee. Read by Prateek Dutt Sharma. Preface to the revised edition. This book was conceived as a sequel to our Struggle for India's Independence, 1857 to 1947, which was very well received, selling over 1 lakh copies in English and many more in translations into Hindi and several other Indian languages. We were persuaded by David Davidar of Penguin, who had published this book, to write a companion volume covering the period from Indian independence to the end of the millennium. We did manage to finish the manuscript by end of 1999, so that it could come out in the beginning of the new millennium as the first edition of this book, titled India After Independence, 1947 to 2000. We were persuaded to work on a second edition of this book for a number of reasons. The response the book got from the general public, and especially students of history, sociology, economics, politics, and contemporary affairs, was very encouraging. It appeared to fill a major gap in the literature on contemporary history, with several universities and management institutes adopting this work as a recommended text. This volume too was translated into Hindi and several other Indian languages. In recent years, we received repeated requests from both our readers and publishers to bring out a revised edition, bringing the book up to date. Indeed, many significant developments did take place since the book was written in 1999 and needed to be incorporated in the book. The economy in the new millennium was at the verge of a breakthrough, registering unprecedented rates of growth. A paradigm change in India's relationship with the outside world was being shaped not only by the major economic strides India was taking, but also by the prolonged negotiations on a changed nuclear status for India among the nuclear powers. On the other hand, Indian politics saw some unprecedented dips. The gravest threat to Indian democracy since independence was witnessed during the Gujarat killings following the Godhra tragedy in 2002. The state government, police, and bureaucracy connived or remained silent spectators while thousands of Muslims were murdered or hounded and made homeless. But then, other segments of India's civil society and state institutions stood up and fought. The period also saw a brazen attempt to communalize our education system at the school textbook level with the central government's active participation. This too was followed by nationwide protest. A change of government in 2004 put a stop to this most dangerous trend. On the whole, though the period was characterized by spectacular economic growth, it also was a period when the fruits of this growth did not spread very widely, with India's ranking in the Human Development Index actually falling, and the country faced a resurgence of the communal and caste divide. It therefore was a very agreeable push from Ravi Singh of Penguin, which got us to work on revising the book. We have added 3 substantive chapters trying to include some of the major events from 1999-2000 till 2007. There is a new chapter on the Indian economy in the new millennium, which highlights the multiple dimensions of the economic breakthrough that occurred in the period, while emphasizing the critical challenges that still remain to be adequately addressed. Another new chapter called Communalism and the Use of State Power analyzes the Gujarat events and the issue of communalization of education in the context of state power being available to the communal forces to further their agenda. The third new chapter, Land Reforms, Colonial Impact and the Legacy of the National and Peasant Movements, precedes 3 substantive chapters discussing land reforms in India since independence. This chapter shows the critical link between the colonial impact on Indian agriculture and the position taken by the Indian national and peasant movements on the agrarian question for over half a century and the nature of land reforms post-independence. A thoroughly revised and considerably expanded chapter titled run up to the new millennium and after, analyzes the main political events and the major foreign policy issues that emerged during the tumultuous years following Rajiv Gandhi's assassination, which saw numerous governments representing virtually the entire mainstream political spectrum of India right up to 2007. Additions and alterations have been made to a number of other chapters, such as in the chapter called The Dawn of the New Millennium Achievements, Problems and Prospects, bringing them up to date. This work of contemporary history takes a holistic view of the political economy of Indian development since independence, evaluating it in the context of the nearly 200 years of colonial rule and a prolonged and powerful anti-imperialist mass movement, which gave birth to the independent Indian Republic. We are particularly happy to be able to bring this work to our listeners on the 60th anniversary of India's independence. November 2007. Bipin Chandra, Mridula Mukherjee, Aditya Mukherjee. Acknowledgements. In the making of this book, we have benefited immensely from our long-term interaction with and support of our colleagues at the Center for Historical Studies at the Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. Many friends, Mohit Sen, Keval Verma, VP Dutt, Barun De, Girish Mathur, Girish Mishra, Gopi Arora, S. Gopal, Romila Thapar, Irfan Habib, V.N. Datta, Ravinder Kumar, C.P. Bhamri, Darshan and Sheila Bhalla, Amit Bhaduri, Arjun Sengupta, Shireen Muzvi, Arun Kumar, Arjun Dev, K.P. Jain, G.M. Telang, Swadesh Mahajan, Madhu Kishwar, Shekhar Singh, Shanta Sinha, Narinder Bedi, Amrita Patel, and Bodh Prakash have over the years helped us grapple with the contemporary world, often through a great deal of polemics and many heated discussions and disagreements. A large number of colleagues and students, D.N. Gupta, Mohinder Singh, Sucheta Mahajan, Visalakshi Menon, Anthony Thomas, Sudhir Mathur, Nirja Singh, Salil Mishra, Rakesh Bhattabyal, Bikash Chandra, Vikram Menon, Gyanesh Kudaisya, John Zavos, Amit Mishra, Tulika Sharan, Deepa Sinha, Himanshu, Bhuvan Jha, Kalyani and Amman Madan have contributed to evolving our ideas and have also been of assistance in several other ways and have helped us keep our optimism alive. The Japan Foundation enabled us, Aditya Mukherjee and Mridula Mukherjee, to be at the Institute of Oriental Culture, University of Tokyo, for a year since March 1999. A considerable part of the drafting and research for the book was done in Japan. Professor Ashish Datta, Vice-Chancellor, JNU, very kindly made it possible for us to avail of this opportunity to complete our book. A large number of friends and colleagues made our visit in Japan extremely fruitful intellectually and otherwise. They include Professors Nariaki Nakazato, Haruka Yanagisawa, Tsukasa Mizushima, Shingo Ainu, Toru Matsui, Nobuko Nagasaki, Takako Hirose, Hiroko Hara, Shigeru Akita, Fumiko Oshikawa, Mr. Takashi Oishi, Dr. Shuji Uchikawa, Mr. Shosaku Matsumoto, Professor and Mrs. Hisashi Nakamura, Mrs. Emiko Kothari, Dr. Kyoko Inui, Umesh and Ruby Pavankar, Dr. Malvika Karlikar, Chiko Mizushima, Dr. Jaishankar, and Professor B.R. Tomlinson. Mr. Shinichiro Hori of the Japan Foundation, Tokyo, enabled us to take time off from Japan and present many aspects of this book in several universities in the US. Manuela Albuquerque, Catherine Harned, Abha and Anil Pandya, Mohan Sood, Tom Metcalf, Vasudha Dalmia, Blair King, Arjun Appadurai, Bernard Cohn, and Carol Breckenridge were critical in making the US visit very rewarding. We would like to thank the staff of the Nehru Memorial Museum and Library, Jawaharlal Nehru University Library, and the India International Center.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?